I have seen her on the stage. She really loves a microphone, but this is her first time at Storytellers. And I just want to say, just to throw her under the bus, like right from the beginning, last month she signed up online and then didn't come. So she has some big shoes to fill. Please welcome Miss Caroline Exum to the stage.
Thank you. Okay, so my dad had just died. So that was the part that she left out, was but he had died the month before, to be fair. But still, give it up for Corin. Okay, so I know nobody has heard the beginning of this story, but I promise I will finish it now. I have anxiety, and I've just recently been diagnosed autistic. So there are a lot of things that scare me, so I was like, I have to narrow it down because we don't have all night to talk about my fears. So I just thought I would tell you about the scariest thing that happened to me. The year was 1983. I was 8 years old, and my mom and the guy that we lived with at the time, which was her boyfriend, he wasn't just a random person, he was her boyfriend. His name was Wally. They left me home alone. It wasn't late at night, but it was like 9 o'clock, I was an independent kid. And they left me home alone so they could go buy my mom a car. And if any of you guys are writers here, I like to look at this as the foreshadowing in my life that should have given everybody a clue that my life was going to be shit from that moment on out. Because the car that she went to get was a 1974 Pinto. See? That's the reaction a lot of people had. Because the car had already been recalled for like 5 years when she bought it. But, she needed a cheap car. Fast forward 2 months later, she is killed in a car accident in that car. It's okay, I was 8, I don't remember her. But I do remember the night that they left me to go buy that car. And the reason I remember that night so well is because that was the night that my house burned down. Yeah, so I'm alone in bed, and they told me, they were like, you need to just go to bed. And I was like, of course, that's what I'm gonna do. But those of you that remember the year 1983, you remember that there was a TV show called V. Yes. Right? And it was fascinating because it had aliens. Well, they looked like people, and then they would rip their face off. And they were alien people, and I was obsessed with this TV show. So the minute that they left, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stay up and watch this show. So I did, and then I started noticing that there was smoke engulfing the house. So who do you call when you're 8 years old and your house is burning down and it's an emergency? You call your best friend's mom. That's who you call. So I called her. She said, get out, get everybody, get the animals out. So I did. And then I went next door to the little old man that lived next door, and I said, my house is burning down. He's like, okay. And then he brings a water hose with him because he's going to put out the fire. And we get back, and by that time, Then we went back to the old man's house so that we could call the fire department, finally. And turns out the furnace was about, if the fire department hadn't gotten there within 5 minutes, the house was going to explode. So I think my time is up, but the moral of the story is if you're 8 years old and your parents tell you to go to bed, tell them to fuck off because your house might burn down and you might be the one to save everybody. Thank you very much.